Every culture in human history has told the same story. Not similar stories, the same story. A hero is called from a normal life into a massive challenge. They resist. They go anyway. They face something that fundamentally breaks them. They are transformed by that breaking. And they return, changed, scarred, carrying something the world needs. That's it. That's the structure of the monomyth. It predates writing. It's the map humans use to understand what growing up actually costs. Hollywood knows this. Every executive has read the breakdown. Every writer knows the terms: the call to adventure, the supreme ordeal, the transformation. The map is right there on the table. And yet something is visibly wrong. The heroes feel hollow. The sacrifice feels cheap. We've seen the map, but we've forgotten how to read it. Today, we're going to talk about why. We're going to look at the safe space culture, the validation loop of social media, and why you can't write a hero if your life has been designed to avoid the very friction that makes a hero real. Joseph Campbell's monomyth has three big movements. First, we have the departure. The hero leaves home. Crucially, they resist the call. This proves the journey will cost them something they value, usually their safety. Then, there is the initiation. The hero enters the unknown and faces the supreme ordeal. They are broken by it, not inconvenienced, not challenged, broken. In the original myths, the hero has to die to who they were to become who they need to be. And finally, the return. The hero comes back, not to brag, but to serve. They bring wisdom back to a community that couldn't have survived the trip themselves. Modern scripts break this machine in three specific ways. They skip the breaking. The hero faces a problem that looks scary but is solved too easily. If a hero is never in danger of becoming a worse version of themselves, they aren't heroic, they're just capable. They skip the transformation. The character at the end is the same person as the beginning, just with a new suit or a better superpower. That's not a journey, that's a commute. And they skip the darkness. Writers today are terrified to let their heroes do something genuinely wrong or make a choice that has a real, ugly cost. But you can't bring light back from a place where you were never truly lost. There is a difference between a writer who knows the structure and a writer who knows the weight. Tolkien didn't just invent Mordor. In 1916, he fought in the Battle of the Somme. He watched his best friends die in the mud of a literal wasteland. When he wrote about the dead marshes, where the faces of the fallen appear in the water, he wasn't being creative, he was remembering. J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter as a single mother on welfare, struggling with deep depression. The Dementors, the creatures that suck the soul out of you, weren't a cool monster idea. They were a description of what it feels like to be clinically depressed and invisible to the world. The moral weight in their work isn't constructed, it's reported. They were there. Compare that to the modern Master of Fine Arts workshop culture, and we are producing writers in environments specifically designed to remove difficulty, protect them from failure, and prioritize affirmation over truth. If you've spent your life in a system that tells you discomfort is a problem to be managed rather than a path to be walked, you will write heroes who are protected too. You cannot fill a structure with weight if you've never carried any. Here is the hard truth. The hero's journey was never a secular structure. It was a sacred one. The hero's death and rebirth is a passage through the underworld, an encounter with something higher than the self. Modern writers often try to strip this away, but when you remove the sacred, you remove genuine evil. If you don't believe in objective evil, if every villain is just misunderstood or has a sad backstory, then the hero has nothing to be heroic against. They're just navigating a misunderstanding. Even more importantly, modern writers often can't write sacred sacrifice. Sacrifice is giving up something of ultimate value, your life, your peace, your safety, for something even higher. Frodo sacrifices his peace to save the Shire, knowing he can never truly go back. Harry Potter walks into the forest to die on purpose for his friends. The difference between losing something and giving it up is the difference between being a victim and being a hero. But you can only give something up if you believe there are things in this world more important than your own survival. Social media has fundamentally changed how we see greatness. The digital world is built on validation. You post, people like it, and that like tells you you're valuable. Heroism has become a performance, but real heroism is almost always private, costly, and unwitnessed. The soldier who throws himself on a grenade doesn't do it for the engagement. The parent who works 3 jobs in silence so their kid has a future isn't looking for followers. Modern scripts are written for a validation culture. We get heroes who are confirmed as special in the first 5 minutes. They don't have to earn our respect through sacrifice. The narrative just tells us they deserve it. This isn't a hero's journey, it's a social media feed with a bigger budget. Here's the one thing modern culture finds almost impossible to say. Conflict makes people better. Not comfortable, not validated, better. The crucible of the story isn't there to be mean to the character. It's the specific mechanism that turns a normal person into a hero. If you've been trained to think that difficulty is just a problem to be avoided, you will write stories where the hero never truly grows because they were never allowed to truly hurt. We are being fed comfort food when we need narrative medicine. A hero who gives up nothing for a victory that costs nothing isn't a hero. They're just someone waiting for a pat on the back. The hero's journey has survived the fall of civilizations and world wars. It survives because humans in crisis need to know that transformation through suffering is possible. We need to know that the ordeal leads somewhere. When it's done right, when a writer who has actually been through the fire brings that weight to the page, it still works. We feel it in our bones when Sam carries Frodo up Mount Doom, or when Harry willingly walks into the Forbidden Forest to let Voldemort kill him. We don't need more validated characters. We need heroes who have been through the darkness and brought some light back for the rest of us. Tell me in the comments, which hero's journey actually moved you? Not just a movie you liked, but a story where you felt the cost of what the hero gave up. Because the answer is always a story where the writer knew, personally, exactly what it felt like to pay that price.
For Frodo.